Hello, you prep scientists. This is Mr. Beck, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of an experiment where we're pretending to be alchemists to try and turn dull, boring things back shiny. So, we have a dull brown penny here, and we made sure that the date on it, this one is 1964, is before 1982. It is 1982 or newer, it will not work because they changed how pennies are made between then. So before you watch this video, you should have already answered the question in your assignment that says, suppose you wanted to make this dull brown penny bright and shiny. Can you think of any liquids in your house that might do that? Why do you think these liquids might work? So that part of your assignment should already be completed. And we're going to do the experiment with 4 different types of liquids. The first one is soapy water. Second one is going to be just vinegar. Third one is going to be salt and vinegar, and our last one is just salty water. So, before you watch the rest of the video, answer the next question on your worksheet. So, do you think any of those 4 liquids will make the dull penny shiny, and why do you think that? So in this part of the video, I'm just going to go through making the different mixtures in case you want to do this at home. If you're not doing this at home, you could skip this part of the video up to the part where we start dipping the pennies in the different liquids. So to make the soapy water, you're going to need 1 cup of water, and you're going to need 1 tablespoon of hand soap or dish soap. So we're just going to take 1 tablespoon, fill that up, and mix it in with our cup of water. All right. And always when you're doing these experiments, you want to make sure that you have things down to keep your space nice and tidy. That's why I have the towels here. All right, so we have our soapy water. It's very soapy. Next, we're going to need some vinegar. So you're just going to take as much vinegar as you need to get a couple inches into your cup. So just enough to dip the penny in. All right, so there we have our vinegar. Next, we need our vinegar and salt. So we're going to take 1 cup of vinegar. So we'll take our measuring cup, take it up to the cup line. And then we need 3 tablespoons of salt. So if you're using your own vinegar at home, you probably don't want to use this much just because it's kind of a waste and you don't really need that much. I'm just making sure the measurements are exact so that our experiment on the video will definitely work. So I'm using 1 cup of vinegar and 3 tablespoons of salt. All right, and then we'll mix that up with one of these other spoons I don't need. You can also get away with using fewer measuring things because you'll be able to rinse them out between. I just didn't want to walk to the sink while I'm making the video. So we have our salt and vinegar here. And this is basically what you want your salt and vinegar mixture to look like. All the salt will not dissolve in the vinegar. So as long as it's this cloudy white color and you see some salt stuck on the bottom, you're good. Last one, we're just going to take, we have a cup of water here, and we're just going to take, again, 3 tablespoons of salt and mix that all together. Alright, so we have our salty water. Again, you want it to be this kind of white color, and there should be some salt left over on the bottom. That's how you know that there is as much salt as that water can possibly hold in there. Okay, so now we have our 4 solutions. We're going to take our pennies, and we're going to put them halfway into the solution for about 15 seconds. So, gonna start with the soapy water. And once you have put it in there for 15 seconds, you're going to just dry it off and put it, I'm putting mine on this chart here so I know which was which. So we have the soapy water, our penny, and we'll move on to the next one. I'll try and speed up the video for this part so you don't have to wait and watch me hold pennies in water for 15 seconds at a time. All right, so as you can see here, we have our 4 different pennies that were in 4 different substances, and the salt and vinegar one actually got a little brighter and shinier after just 15 seconds inside that salt and vinegar solution. So, and none of the others looked like anything changed on them. So what you're gonna do is go back to the Mystery Science slideshow, follow through the rest of the lesson, answer the questions as you go. You'll have this sheet, and I will post a different video that'll show you how to make your drawings in Google Docs so that you can include them on your answer sheet. And what I'm going to do now is we're going to take the salty vinegar mixture. We're going to fill up the cup the rest of the way so that we can keep this one kind of going overnight. And what I'm going to do, just to see, there will be towards the end a different experiment where they ask us to put all these into the salty vinegar water for a while. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to see what the results will be. And another thing I'm going to put in there are just a couple of these iron nails. And we'll see why that is tomorrow. And if you take a look there, you can already see the pennies starting to change color, and we'll see what happens tomorrow morning with those when I finish up the video. All right, see you later. All right, welcome back, you prep scientists. It is about 6 hours later. Our pennies and nails have been sitting in the salt and vinegar this whole time, and we're about ready to take a look at what happened. So if we take a look at the pennies, they are all now bright and shiny and looking mostly new. They got a little bit of marks still on them, but for the most part, compared to how they were, they are way, way brighter now. And interesting thing that happened is, if we take a close look, this is what the nails looked like before we put them in. So these are just regular nails, haven't been sitting in there at all. See, they're kind of silvery. And then if we take a look at the nail that's been in the vinegar and salt with the pennies, pull this one out too, see how that one looks. There we go. So that second one didn't work so well, but this one, just gonna dry it off real quick. So this one might be a little hard to see in the video, but it's a lot closer in color now to the pennies than it is to the original nails. So it looks like the nail actually turned a little bit copper. There you go, that's a good angle to see it. So that's going to be it for today. So go ahead, finish those last few questions in your packet, and I will see everybody on Monday.